I just stumbled upon Realm of the Mad God, and I'm having some fun with it. So today, I'm here to talk a little bit about the good and the bad of this game. I am still somewhat new to this game, but I do feel really prepared to talk about this game with you guys today. So first off, this game is 13 years old. Yes, 13 years old, and is still relevant in 2024. So I think that's an accomplishment within itself. This game is developed by Wild Shadow Studios and has since been acquired by DECA Games. If you're going to ask me to summarize this game in a nutshell, it is a bullet hell-like control-based game. But other than that, it has a lot of MMO mechanics, and permadeath is a huge piece of the game as well. I'll talk more about that within this video. We'll talk a bit about the gameplay, the visuals, the community, the transactions, and all that good and bad stuff. So first off, the main gameplay loop of this game is really simple. You can teleport to your hub at any point. Other than that, you can start drifting away from the hub, start going to dungeons, and from there, there's a lot of random generation, and there's just a lot of grinding opportunity. You can start any dungeon at any time. Also, any enemy can drop a dungeon at any time. So you can almost go in a dungeon within a dungeon within a dungeon. You start out by picking your class, and once you pick your class, you start out at level 1 with no loot or gear, and you're a pretty weak character. From there, you're going to start your gameplay loop of just killing a bunch of simple enemies. Based on the class that you picked, those enemies that you kill will drop loot, and that loot will directly affect your abilities and your skills. There are 18 plus different playable classes. It seems like some are behind a paywall and some aren't, but they all feel really different, which is really cool. And they all have their own unique gimmicks. So far, I have played as a wizard, archer, and priest, and I would say archer has been my favorite so far. Now, this is a random time to say this, but I do just want to put this in real quick. This game does not support controllers. You can make it work. I have been playing this game with my controller, but it's not the smoothest thing necessarily. And if you can, I would say to play this with mouse and keyboard. I think where this game really shines is in its leveling up systems, from going into the early game to becoming more powerful as you get into the later game, and also just the loot system, which really goes hand in hand with your leveling up. Truthfully, it's not the leveling up that makes you more powerful, it is the loot, and that's a really good feeling to make progress within that. There's also a really great variety of bosses within this game. That's definitely one of the coolest things about it. The bosses feel unique, they have different gimmicks, really good art style, and also the vibes of the bosses are tremendous. And this transitions really well to my next point. The music and graphics of this game is something special. Really great vibes. The music has shocked me and put a smile on my face in multiple instances of just playing this game, and I've been really impressed by that. The graphics are obviously very simple, but I appreciate it, and I also think the game does a pretty good job at communicating basically what always is going on. You can always get a good idea of where enemies are and where loot is and stuff like that. I haven't really delved too much into the community of this game. There was a lot of players within the hub world, but there wasn't much interaction at all. I did play with my friend Jake, and we had a great time playing this game. There was one point where I tried inviting someone to tag along with us, but I just got ignored, or I'm going to tell myself that they didn't see the message. It makes me feel a little bit better. But nonetheless, there's a really good cooperative dynamic present in this game. Having a friend to play with felt awesome. We were communicating a lot. Jake was a tank while I was a wizard, and I died, so then I switched over to an archer because I suck. But we had this really good dynamic of him being more tanky and I was trying to instill more damage. So it is really cool how you can just work together with people. Now, this game is completely free to play, which is absolutely awesome. I will say this, however, it is very obvious there's a lot of microtransactions within this game. It seems that there are pets present within this game that are all behind a paywall. And also, as soon as you're just maneuvering through the hub world, you can see how much you can actually buy with in-game currency. And a lot of it is stuff that will directly make your guy better. So it's safe to say this game is definitely pay to progress and pay to win to some extent. Overall, I would say the biggest strengths of this game is the variety of its classes, the looting and leveling up system, the variety in dungeons and boss battles, and also the fact that it's just pretty accessible with simple controls and it's free to play. Some of the downsides I have about this game, I don't think permadeath really has a great place within this game. That's my opinion. I almost feel like the progression is more than enough where you just don't need the permadeath. It just doesn't really do too much. This game also is a lot at first. Even though it looks simple, there's a lot of mechanics going on, and even the hub world in itself can kind of overwhelm you. It's one of those games where once you find your flow with it, it's really nice and you'll kind of just keep vibing off of that flow. But in the beginning, it can be hard to establish some momentum. The microtransactions are also brutal. They're very obvious and kind of in your face throughout it. And please confirm this in the comment section, guys, because I could be wrong about this. But if pets are all behind the paywall, they lost my respect because I love animals and that's just not cool. Furthermore, I have had a few performance issues. I was in the middle of dungeoning with my friend Jake, and in the middle of that, the game crashed. But it wasn't anything with my PC. It was purely internal within the game, just within the browser. I had to exit out and reboot it. I know that's not a big deal, but I thought it was worth mentioning considering this is a pretty basic game to run. It's not super demanding, so I was pretty surprised that I experienced a crash. And there wasn't a crazy amount of enemies on screen as well. Overall, I'd say Realm of the Mad God is a pretty good game. I wouldn't say it's the end-all, be-all. I don't think this game is going to absolutely sweep you away or anything like that, but it's a really chill, relaxing game. And if you are a fan of retro games, MMO, bullet hell mechanic-like games, and you also like permadeath, I will say to my more casual gamers out there, I do feel like this game probably isn't very casual gamer friendly, and if it doesn't really have your interest, I don't think it's going to do a good job of getting you more interested. What do you guys think of Realm of the Mad God? I would love to hear what you guys think of this. I really genuinely am always interested in hearing your guys' opinion. I think a lot of you guys know more than me, and I love learning from you guys. So thank you guys so much if you made it this far. Guys, I have enough views to get monetized, and that's something I'm really proud of. I'm sorry to boast about that. I have to say, though, I need more subscribers in order to get paid. So please consider subscribing to my channel. It would mean a whole lot to me. Thank you guys so much for making it this far. Please go ahead and have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace!